Promise is a national nonprofit organization dedicated to assisting children and families. Hear that? Children and families who have lost or are at risk of losing their housing. And next year they will celebrate their 40th year. And today we are fortunate to have LaVeeta Hamilton, who's the Executive Director of Family Promise here in Collin County, and she's going to explain to us a little bit more about what Family Promise is and what we can do to help them. So LaVeeta, can we welcome LaVeeta?
Good morning.
Good morning, and thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you for having me.
I do appreciate it. So, can you tell us just a little bit about Family Promise?
Family Promise. Can everyone hear me okay, or is this too loud?
I'm good? Okay.
Family Promise of Collin County, it's a homeless shelter for families experiencing homelessness.
Mm-hmm.
What we do is we actually provide housing for individuals who have been evicted, living in their car, living in parks, or in the process of living with another family.
Okay. And this started 40 years ago, did I read it right, in Ohio?
In New Jersey.
Okay.
Yes. Karen, I can't remember her last, Parsons, I believe is her last name. She's the founder. And what happened, one day she was on her way to a meeting and she walked past the individual that was homeless and asked this individual if they needed a sandwich. So she ended up buying a meal for that. And from that point on, with a group of ladies that she knew within a church, they started providing meals for individuals that were homeless. And from there, Family Promise was born.
Okay. How did it come down here to Collin County?
So Gary Rodenbaugh and a couple of other church members from Forest Grove Church actually put Family Promise in place and started getting the ball rolling with everything. So it was a process, founded in 2011 here in Collin County, but we actually didn't start serving families until about 2013 or 2014. It was a process. At the very beginning, what happened was we had to find some place to house families, and that means we had to find places for families to sleep. So about 15 churches, they gathered and met, and it took a while because they had to go through the process of getting authorization from Collin County to actually serve these families. And so 15 churches hosted families. Every week, a family would rotate from one church to another where they would receive meals, fellowship, help with homework, and then the next day they would have to leave the church by 7 a.m. where they would leave with already having breakfast and then lunch packed for the day.
Okay, wonderful. Now I know we've been in partnership with y'all since before the pandemic. Do you remember when it started here?
2011.
It was 11? Okay, so I did not realize we were part of the family crew. Well done, you. Okay, as we talk about homelessness here in Collin County, what's the rate of it, if you will? How prevalent of an issue is it?
In 2024, Collin County had 3,718 individuals that were noticed and counted as homeless.
Okay, that's a lot.
Those are families, those are children. A lot of those numbers come from within the school district as well.
Okay, what's currently driving this crisis? What is causing people to experience homelessness?
Right now, I will start first with the crisis. There's always a crisis that may arise within a family and they can't afford the rent, or they have to now find out, am I going to make this car payment or am I going to pay my rent? Am I going to buy food for my family or am I going to pay rent? And sometimes individuals go for the latter. They go for the car payment. They go for the food and they don't realize how important paying your rent or mortgage is first. They don't understand or don't realize that it's okay to have a house with lights off until you can get that next paycheck to get those lights turned back on. It's okay to pay your rent and go to a food pantry if you cannot, afford to buy food for your family. So we're going to start with the crisis, and then we're going to go to high prices. Right now, individuals are living in an apartment complex. What's happening is every year, the rent goes up. Every single year there's some kind of utility fee, a maintenance fee, or any type of fee that's going to drive that rent. So with that, with minimum wage being as low as it is right now, and a lot of individuals are not getting raises on their jobs, they can't afford the whole picture. They can't afford rent, car payment, utilities, children's soccer, anything that your child has as far as an activity is concerned. So those are a lot of things that are driving homelessness right now. And like I said, the cost of a lot of things going up is what we see. Families can't afford a lot of the things that they have to pay right now.
I'm guessing in Collin County it's very important to have that card because we're not known for mass transit or walkability.
Yes.
So if you want to get anywhere, you need that
You have
card.
to have a vehicle.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So talk a little bit about what you guys do. How do you provide care? And then who's eligible for assistance? Who do you provide care to?
So we provide care to families, any demographic. It can be mom and dad. It can be single mom. It can be single dad. It can be grandma and children. It can be mom and mom. It can be dad and dad. Mm-hmm. Anyone who presents as a family with a child 18 years of age and younger. Mm-hmm. Now, if they have older children, one good thing about Family Promise of Collin County, we do not separate the family. There's a lot of homeless shelters in the area that will separate that 24-year-old son from the family, or even separate dad from the family because of the living situations that they have in the shelter. They have to have a car, because if they don't have a car, they cannot go look for a job. If they don't have a car, they can't drive from the shelter over to the day center on a daily basis to look for a job and have case management meetings.
Okay. So it sounds like a lot, but really they just need the essentials to get started before they can get the house.
Yes.
Okay. And if I'm hearing you right, a child has to be in the picture.
Yes. We have to have a child 18 years of age. Okay.
So can you share with us, for people who don't know, what are we currently doing? What's going on? Where am I directionally? Back that way? In the parsonage over there.
So what we have going over in the parsonage, honestly, Pastor Beth, is a safe space. Individuals are sleeping at another parsonage in Zaxby. Mm-hmm. Those individuals have to be in that shelter every night between, I say, 6:30 and 7 o'clock to receive the meals that other churches prepare for them. Mm-hmm. They have to leave that facility by 8 o'clock in the morning, and instead of them just wandering around the streets or having to be at the library, if they don't have childcare, just kind of spending time at the park until it's time to go back to the parsonage, they have the parsonage here for a safe space where they can utilize our computer lab to find a job. We have a case manager that meets with each family every week to help them set goals, which is the ultimate goal is going to be housing, but they have weekly goals. They have monthly goals, and then, like I said, that ultimate goal, they can prepare meals there. And then they can also, like I said, have that safe space to take care of their children during the day until they can kind of get themselves prepared to move forward to the next step in life and within the program.
Okay. And if I remember from when I was walking through, there's the computer area. Mm-hmm. There's a nice, comfortable living room. Mm-hmm. There's a beautiful playroom. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. Kitchen, dining room table. I mean, it is home.
It's home. It is home for a lot of these families. And I want them to be comfortable while they're there. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I'll walk in and everyone kind of stiffens up because they may be on their phone playing a game or something. No, that's okay. Because what I tell all families coming into the program, this is the most comfortable program that you will experience. Mm-hmm. Because I want everyone to feel, honestly comfortable. I don't, there's no strict rules to where you have to. There's things that families have to do coming into the program, but as long as you're taking care of your budget classes, which are mandatory, your counseling, which is mandatory, and looking for a job, which is mandatory, then this is a place of peace and safety for you until we can get you housed.
Can you tell us how many families are currently using our parsonage right now?
Right now we have 3 families in program, so we only serve 3 families at a time.
Oh, okay.
And since the month of December, we have consistently been full. It's not a good thing, but it is a good thing because we are helping families. Mm-hmm. But on the flip side of that, we do have way more individuals that are homeless because we actually have a wait list.
Okay. So we're currently providing the space.
Yes.
What else can we do? What's available for this congregation to actually do? Maybe just small steps.
I would say, so there's a lot that we do for families on a weekly basis. Every family coming into the program for the first 30 days, we give them $150 in Walmart cards and $25 in gas cards. This is so the family can come in and kind of have that moment where they don't have to worry about anything. We can always use gift cards and gas card donations. We also provide families with all of the essential needs: toothpaste, combs, brushes, body care, shampoo, face soap, laundry detergent, paper towels, toilet paper. We can always use donations of that. We do, since the families are over at the parsonage on Saturday and Sunday and throughout the week, meals are always a good option. And I'm never going to turn down monetary donations because that actually helps us keep programs running.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is gift cards, money, food,
and supplies.
What about if I have somebody here who loves working with children and is a great tutor? Is that something that
I always encourage tutoring.
Okay.
And right now we're looking for mentors and someone to teach a parenting class.
Okay.
Parenting class, we had parenting classes before, and the young lady that actually taught the parenting classes just took a break. I made that mandatory. I'm a grandmother, and I can still use parenting classes. I think anyone who's a parent can still use a parenting class. But with the families coming in the program, there's so many different things that I see from the mental health side and then just from the parenting side where they could use just that little bit of help, just learning something different about the parenting aspect of life.
And as I said earlier, all these gentlemen, they're fathers of some regard.
Oh, yeah.
And I said the same thing last month. Ladies, you are all mothers of some regard. You have helped a child. So this is something that, Okay, now guys, don't get worried. I am not volunteering anybody for anything. I'm just trying to get some ideas out there of what else can we do to help this organization? To help, these are now our neighbors, and pretty sure somebody wiser than I said we should love our neighbors.
Yes. Just a little bit wiser.
Just a little bit. Pretty sure though he didn't go to seminary. I don't think so. Now there is one thing that we can do that you did not mention. We can include family promise in our daily prayers.
Yes, you can.
And that's something we can all do.
Yes.
Is to pray for not just the program, but to pray for the families.
Yes.
Because this is difficult.
It is. It's a heavy situation for the families. You would never really tell just kind of looking. I know sometimes you have different activities going on during the week, and you may just see the family. And they may look okay, but these families are not okay because they are homeless.
Yeah.
That's a heavy word, homelessness. Right now they're housed, but they don't have a home, which is really important for anyone.
Yeah. As an itinerant pastor, I've had a few in the last 20 years. And it is very important to have that one place where, if you will, all your stuff is there, and all your memories are there, and you know where you're going to go to sleep tonight. That's important.
It is very important.
Okay. Now, one other thing that we can do, and LaVeeta and I have talked about this a little bit, and hopefully you guys will think it's a great idea. We have this beautiful Family Life Center, and it's big, and it would be a perfect venue for back to school fair. What do you guys think? What are we looking at doing for that right now?
Right now, what we are doing, we're looking at serving the children from the city of Princeton, the city of Allen, and part of McKinney, just to kind of help those individuals, help the parents a little bit with back to school supplies. Maybe some haircuts, possibly those dental appointments that they need, and immunizations that they probably need. So right now we're just kind of putting together some information, or I'm gathering information to see who can be available to come out and kind of serve those individuals who are needing that little bit of extra help on back to school this school year.
Okay. And just be clear, I did not volunteer us to provide mass quantities of stuff.
But I will have.
I volunteered the space. She's going to ask for donations. And more information to come.
Yes.
Okay. Now I'm going to do something, and I didn't say I was going to do this earlier, but I hope you don't mind. Do any of you have questions for LaVeeta? Is there anything you want to know either about Family Promise or about what's going on with homelessness in Collin County?
If we were to bring supplies, where should we bring them? Here to the church or to the...
It would be to the church. Don't do anything yet. Oh, supplies for them now, bring them to the church. When we get to the fair time, that'll be in our newsletter. Yeah. But if you're interested in bringing supplies, just bring them up to the office, and we will make sure they get to the right place. Cheryl, can we put something in the newsletter this coming week? A list of suggested supplies?
Yes.
So guys, check your newsletter for what they need. Anyone else?
Just out of curiosity, is there a program that exists to connect families who don't qualify for Family Promise, say they don't have a car that you're aware of that helps them get a vehicle?
A vehicle? Well,
I'm going to repeat the question so everyone can hear it. The question's regarding what about those who don't qualify for Family Promise, perhaps don't have a car? Is there something in place to help them out?
so that's a really good question, because we have a program called God's Wheels. And I started in 2020, and then of course the pandemic hit. Prior to that, we received car donations. I'm pretty sure Cheryl and Jim remembers all the cars we used to have in the parking lot at one point. But we used to have vehicle donations, and what we would do with those individuals who did not have a car when they came into program, what we would do is allow them to utilize that car, and once they graduated, we would gift them that car. Well, what happened once the pandemic came through, we never received any more car donations. So right now we utilize the money that we have for that program to help the families get their vehicles fixed. And I'm going to get to your question in a second, because there's some things that we kind of have in the works right now. There is a nonprofit in the area called Helping Hands, Helping Hearts, and they actually assist individuals with cars when they don't have them. So what we're doing right now is we're actually waiting on a car donation from them. So when we get that donation, what I'm going to do is hire a part-time driver so we can accept families who don't have a vehicle. Like I said, we only serve 3 families at a time. And so what that individual will be able to do is to transport those families within Collin County where they needed to go. There are a couple of nonprofits in the area that helps with cars when those families need it, but same thing. They haven't received vehicles for a very long time, and it's just far few in between that those individuals have those cars available for families. So we try to partner with other nonprofits who have those vehicle donations, just to kind of find out where they are receiving those vehicles so we can have a place to refer those families who don't have transportation. You're welcome. Yes, ma'am.
Just curious, you said that the families that you help go through a program, is it kind of like an open-ended program, like until they get where they need to go as far as their goals, or is it no, in 6 months it ends?
So did you want to repeat the question?
Yeah, Kelly's asking, is the program that Family Promise offers, is this an open-ended program, or is there an end date where they have to complete their goals by a certain time?
So families come into the program, and it's a 90-day program. And once they get in program and they start setting goals, and say they don't have a job and something happens, we have a family right now, she's been in the program, her 90 days would have been the 13th, but she was able to extend that time. So what happens is if we see that a family is doing everything that they can to get where they need to be, we're going to keep them in program. It can go on for up to a year, but what happens is every month we look at their goals and we talk about the progress that they have made, and then they literally write a letter asking for an extension request. That way we can kind of monitor what's going on. And they have case management meetings every week. So we always know the details of what's happening with families. They come in thinking 90 days because of course we want them coming in doing all the work. We don't want to say it's 90 days, but you can stay for 2 years if you want to. That's not how it's going to work. 90 days is what they know coming in, and as that time nears, we find out where they are. But as they enter the program, what we do, we immediately get them connected with another nonprofit that we work with called Hope Restores Mission to get them put in a system so they can start looking for housing and start getting the assistance that they need for housing. So we've actually, this year, we've graduated 2 families out of the 5 that we've had so far into housing.
Anyone else? LaVeeta, I am so glad you were able to be with us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
And, I just want to repeat the scripture we heard from Matthew 25. Jesus says, I was hungry and you gave me food. I was thirsty and you gave me drink. I was a stranger and you welcomed me. These words are still true for us today. We are able to provide food. We're able to provide drink. We're able to welcome the stranger. We are able to provide care and compassion the way Christ has told us to as we continue to support Family Promise. Again, I didn't volunteer you guys for anything. I will not say no if you want to volunteer for something, however, because this is important. This is, in the world we live in, I know many of us would think that will never be me, but it could be. Life happens, and we need to do what we can. Share from our bounty. So again, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
And I'm going to ask that we spend a few moments in prayer. Do you mind saying? Loving God, we do give you thanks this day for all you have blessed us with, for this day, for this time of fellowship, for this opportunity to hear about this very valuable program, this way that we can be your hands and feet in this world in a very real way. So we give you thanks. And we ask you to continue to bless Family Promise, to continue to bless the work that they do and the families that come through. May they feel your love. May they understand who you are.